This is Insurgency Sandstorm. We're here on Xbox Series S. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. This is the current gen upgrade for the game. Keeping in mind it was next gen aware prior, but now we have a proper upgrade for the experience that really takes advantage of the current hardware. And for the Series S, that's actually really great here. So we're getting 1080p, 60 FPS, and they've added the HD textures, they're calling them, to the game, which just makes the experience look a lot sharper and a lot more detailed. Now, the advantage here on Series S is particularly present. I think the game looks a lot cleaner than it did in the past. It's definitely very helpful on this version of the game, just in terms of seeing things at a distance and being able to respond a lot better. So in the past, I really felt that this version looked quite murky in terms of long-distance shooting, like seeing out to the distance. Now, it still is a little murky. I mean, it's 1080p, right? Like, resolution-wise, you're going to get what you're going to get. But to me, this is a truly great upgrade to the experience in terms of visuals, because now you can actually, in my opinion, pick out enemies at a distance much better than you could in the past. It really is a huge difference for this game. Not everything is going to be like perfectly sharp coming from the Series X version of this game just prior, because I was looking at the upgrade there. You know, obviously the resolution decline is a big thing, but I'm just really trying to get across that I am truly impressed with this particular update to this game for this particular platform, just because it is so much easier to actually pick out little details in the far distance that with the previous version of this were just like really difficult, or like nigh impossible in my opinion. This is a big improvement for this particular release, at least in my opinion on this one. I think this is a very nice touch. So, other things, modding is not coming to consoles. They've announced that is not happening anymore. They have no intention to do so. Console crossplay is in progress, so that will be coming down the road. You might be playing at the time of taking a look at this video. Xbox has crossplay with PC, and has the option, if you plug in a keyboard and mouse, you will automatically be in that crossplay situation. So it does now have console keyboard mouse support, but you'll only be playing with PC players in those particular servers, just so that you are aware of that in this experience. So the biggest thing here with the HD texture pack, you know, aside from Series S looking way better, you know, hitting at 60 FPS, feeling smooth, is just the fact that, like, the things that used to look really kind of blurry, like there used to be a lot of smaller detailed things within the environment, smaller like objects or items, or kind of like even walls and rocks and stuff that used to look really blurry and just terrible. Much better now, like much better. And like obviously, again, just keep in mind on the Series S, when you go to play this, don't expect like the craziest, sharpest game in the world, if that makes sense, because it is 1080p, but just keep in mind that now you can actually make out enemies much better in the distance, make out, you know, people in little spots or little windows, and like it makes a huge difference for how you are visually able to see and react within the environment. And I'm not sure what more you could really ask for in that regard, but I am very happy that they actually did that on the Series S, because, you know, again, it's always a mixed bag in regards to what you see when you come and play on the Series S. And, you know, it is a little jagged around some of the edges, and, you know, it's a little murkier in looking at things, but just the clarity, I think, is probably the best word, of being able to pick out enemies is so helpful, and just kind of an unbelievable improvement for this particular version of the game. Very good. I've really been going on about that, but seriously, just like if you've played this prior on the Series S and you've been like, oh, it's so hard to see stuff, and you know, we've chatted with that with my buddy Kevin there, who plays, you know, used to play this on the Series S with me all the time, because we do streams and everything of this game constantly. It was always like, oh, I can't, I couldn't see certain things, couldn't view certain things, and I think this really does wonders for the Series S. Like, yeah, this is nice. This is a big improvement for the game. And then of course everything visually looks better too, because just the textures are a lot sharper in a lot of the environment, and yeah, looks great. It really does. I'm actually very happy. This is one of the more impressive Series S upgrades I've seen. So this was not expected. I'm actually really happy with this. So, moving past that, if you are not familiar with Insurgency Sandstorm, I like to call it basically Call of Duty if you had to be tactical about Call of Duty, where like 1 or 2 bullets can kill ya. It's very easy to die. I got him, but I think I got shot from behind. Was he on this? Oh, he's lying down under the table. Oh, that's clever. Very, very clever. But yeah, it's kind of like, and I know the community will probably hate that sort of thing if you compare it to Call of Duty, but that is the kind of the movement, the look, the vibe, very Call of Duty-like, but tactical, but having to work as a team, but, literally death is everywhere. The game has incredible audio work. It's got a great sense of scale and environment to it, with very large maps, a focus on objective play. There's a lot to love about Insurgency. It's gotten great post-launch support in terms of updates and upgrades and new things that they've added, and it's just a real blast to play. So it's up to 10 players assigned. You play PvP or PvE. The PvE is a cooperative mode where you're kind of doing, I guess you would call it, wave-based survival to a degree. I think that's a pretty fair kind of note to make on it. I do more of the PvP, that's my thing, but the PvE is kind of cool, and there's different modes and different things you can take in. And then yeah, so the PvP is competitive, so that's where you're fighting across a variety of modes that are meant to be, intense, and you're supposed to compete and try to like take objectives. They're all objective focused games. I thought I could maybe run away, because when you're in the enemy kind of side there, it kind of takes away your gun, so you can't shoot at them. So that's a bit of a pain for sure, but obviously you gotta protect spawns, right? So yeah, the bunch of different rotating game modes, core game modes. There's like night vision stuff, like night maps and that you can play, and they have some seasonal things. Like the game has had long-term support, is what I'm trying to get across, and it has changed and developed, and actually games and services, I would say, done right, because there is a steady enough flow of content to this particular experience. It's very impressive in my opinion. I've been very, very happy with how this one has been supported over the years. I've had a lot of fun playing this game. And I think a lot of other people will too, if you've been craving something a little bit different. I don't know what it is about this game, but the vibes, they just hit right. And I'm just very happy with this overall game and what it has to offer. And I always try to recommend it to everyone I can, because it is a very, very well put together title, and it just offers some really good competitive play. So when it comes to game modes, we've got push here. So push is sort of like, yeah, that's just not going to work. I'm going to have to go in the proper way. There's just, yeah, he's just watching on the top of the mountain there. So push is kind of like one team defends, one team attacks, and it kind of changes depending on the map and the setup on the map too. And oh, we are out of waves. That was really dumb of me to run that way and do that. Then there's this thing called Frontline, which is like push, but it's a tug of war. You go back and forth. And then there are some other modes with some other objective-based things, but usually push and Frontline seem to be the primary focus for most individuals that are playing Insurgency, at least in my opinion. And then the map selection is excellent. Like, it's varied. There's a great selection of levels. Some are very open, some are very tight. You get rich areas, shantytown areas. You get some more, I guess you would say, modernized places. Some more like war-torn spots. Ironically, you get some snow levels, and yeah, just a great selection of maps, and they're all very large. Like again, showing this on the map here, like it's, they're very, very big maps. They've got a lot of like distance to them, a lot of scale to cover, but yet the pacing of it is really well done. It's not like Hell Let Loose, if you're familiar with that one, where you just kind of like wander in the open forever. Like you do actually, you know, like there is tactical play to this. We're just gonna watch this guy snipe, go in there and die so we get to the next round. So like, I feel like this guy should have been able to get him. So, like, you do progress and move through them in very interesting ways, in different ways, because they use the maps effectively. So you might be defending or attacking with one team, and the next time defending or attacking with the other team, like security in the Insurgents. They're two different, like, factions. Oh, that was silly. So there's the two different factions, and they're kind of going at it, and they have different weapons and different tools, but, you know, pushing, attacking, it switches depending on the scenario at play, and I always think that's really, really quite intriguing in this particular situations. I just really love that this game has that great sense of tactical play to it, where it's like everything is focused around funneling you to objectives and working on levels and actually trying to, as a team, get tasks done in order to, you know, win the particular match, which I think is quite intriguing. We ended up with a different map. I wanted to switch things up a bit. Mainly because one of my teammates shot me right off the bat for some reason, so I was just like, yeah, nope, not doing any more of that. So, anyways, great selection of levels that all kind of play out well and all have unique styles and settings and, you know, themes to them, which I think is great. Then it really is quite a millisim type of scenario in terms of being... Was that our teammate? Where did that come from? Being really quite grounded in terms of the setting that's at play here. You have a wide, and I mean very, very wide range of weapons, tools, and customization for your characters and your classes, and the security and the insurgents all have their different setups, and they all have different, like, cosmetic things and outfits, and you can support the game further by buying various, you know, like, DLC packs that have different skins and stuff, but there's nothing, like, silly in this game. It's all very, very realistic focused. You know, it's not like Call of Duty where there's like duck skins and other weird stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like this game actually is authentic to the setup, the scenario, and the region at play, which I think is kind of cool and helps make this one stand out a little bit better from other shooter games. And the pacing within all these maps, like I've kind of gone over, it just feels really right. It keeps the momentum and flow of the maps going very well. And it's created some very gripping scenarios and situations where it's kind of like, you know, are we going to win this match? Can we pull it off? You know, you got like no waves left and you got to make it work and... Ow. Ow. I found that to be very intriguing and rewarding as you fight and play in this game. It's a very, very unique experience, and it kind of reminds me a little bit more of like a PC side of things where you wouldn't typically traditionally get this on this platform. Why? Are you a teammate? Like, is that an enemy? Cool. Like, I got shot. Okay, so for my confusion here, because I'm like, yeah, we're the insurgents. I was like, that guy looks like an enemy guy, but he wasn't shooting at me. And it had just said that a teammate had injured me from behind, so... That was all very, very confusing for me there for a second, because I'm like, I'm supposed to shoot that guy. I was like, what is going on? Anyways, now that we've got that confusion out of the way, I think it's a very well set up game that offers a lot of scenarios and replayability. You know, it is a multiplayer only game, so you do get either the PvP or the PvE to enjoy. It was at one point going to have single player ahead of launch, but that did get cancelled eventually at some point in development time. I was checking this game out at E3, like behind closed doors, way ahead of its eventual release and whatnot, and you know, I got to hear the whole rundown on the campaign and stuff, which sounded like it would have been really cool, but, you know, for budget reasons and everything like that, we just ended up with the multiplayer. And you know what? That's totally okay, too. I've been really happy with what we got with this game. I hope it continues to have a good, healthy lifespan, and I hope it continues to get updates. And I would be very happy to see a sequel for this down the road. I think would be really, really great. I mean, they've cleaned this one up so nicely, too. You know, it was a little janky back in the day, and now it's really smooth to run around in and move and look and shoot. And there's a FOV too if you go to the settings, which I guess I should have mentioned earlier, but you can change the FOV. And yeah, it's just a very, very well done, well set up package that I think you can have a lot of fun playing. It's something that really is like it's hardcore. Like it's really intense. Like, you know, a bullet or two, a bullet, you die. And you know, some people will find that frustrating or something, but I think it is something rewarding, and you can learn pretty well when playing it what you're supposed to do, how it's supposed to run, and the functionality of like the game itself. Like you get on board pretty quick, and it's not too hard to grasp what it is, because it is something, as I had mentioned earlier, that feels, you know, in the realms of something you might have played if you've, you know, been into the Call of Duty games in the past. It just kind of has a unique twist on that whole element of play, and it just provides something that is grounded, intensive in the realms of realism. And then on Series S here, it's actually like pretty well crafted. I gotta say, like, they did good work with the Series S version of this game. I'm very, very happy with it. I mean, it's not like it's, you know, the craziest, highest tier of things, but on Series S, this is actually like a good way to play this game, I would say now, much better than in the past. Whereas on like Series X, I was like, oh, the textures and stuff look nicer, but it's like, you know, negligible in some degree. But for here, I'm actually looking at this and I'm like, this is a nice bump up for this game. I think people are going to be very happy with it. Just that clarity level is so nice. Really, he's blocking us at the last second. Did he run around the corner or something like that? I don't know, but I've put in a lot of hours in this game, and I really, really want to get across that I think this is a great game. It's something where if you like the gameplay, the combat of it, you can spend many, many hours, many days playing this game. I mean, I'm like level getting towards 200 at this point, and there's people that are like level like 1,000 and something. It's utterly ridiculous. But there's like lots of stuff to like unlock and work towards, and gear, and just so many options. Of course, as soon as I like start moving, I get shot from over there, right? It's as soon as I start to go to move, and it's just like no, 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 not allowed. That's for sure. But it also seems to be something that is quite popular in terms of players. Like there are actually like good amounts of people playing this all the time, and you know, finding full matches and across the different modes. And I think that's a good sign of something that is pretty healthy and pretty well off. Yeah, I really love a good excuse to come back here and showcase this game and talk about it, because it is one of my favorites. It is, you know, something that I really enjoyed covering when it came out, doing the occasional stream of. And then it's been quite a while since I had, you know, done something with this game, so it is a nice excuse to spend a bit more time playing it, I guess you would say, as it is a lot nicer in terms of how it's situated at this current point in time. Especially here on the Series S, this is a very, very nice way to interact with this game. Kind of wondering where that guy went. Sometimes you're just like, you know, you run around, you make too much noise, stuff, you get shot, it's not a great time. Not a great situation. Oh, that is the worst time for me to, like, pull out a grenade. That is the worst time to pull out a... Because, like, it's a little... Like, it's not quick. It's not like COD where you just pop out grenades and stuff. Like, you actually have to, like, very slowly pull out a grenade, very slowly put a grenade away. I think I'm just dying this match. How am I doing? Yeah, I'm just dying. I joined into this death scenario. I don't like this level either, to be honest. There's a lot of maps in this game I really, really like. This one is just... Yeah, not my favorite. It's just because it's, like, weird open and just disjointed with all these different, like, layerings of rubble and stuff. It's, like, impossible to tell where people are and the flow of everything and all that. It's a nightmare for me. I don't love it. But I do love this game. And that's really the point, is trying to get people to give this one a whirl, try it out, see if they like it, check it out. It's a cool game. It's rewarding. It offers a lot of unique experiences, unique maps, setups, epic action. Sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't. But that is the fun of it, is like trying out different things and trying to, I don't know, make a mark out there on the battlefield with your team, you know, playing different roles. Are you going to be an observer and like call in stuff? Are you going to do a different type of class? What kind of weapons are you going to bring in? What kind of tools are you going to have along the way in order to fight? You know, how are you going to take these objectives? There's only, you know, there's a finite amount of paths and ways to go in and tackle scenarios and situations, so yeah, this one just offers a lot, and I hope more folks check it out, because it's a really, really great game, Insurgency. It's a lot of fun to play.